Let's talk about the importance of the element of air. Hi everybody, and welcome back to another video by Pan Society. I'm Cherie, and today we're going to be discussing the element of air. Air is an extremely important element. Let's just take a moment for a second and just take a deep, clearing breath. So the point of that exercise, besides calming and centering ourselves, was to show that air is an extremely important element for us humans. We need it to live. We breathe it, and if we don't have air, we die. And it's not just humans, it's a lot of the creatures on this planet and plants as well. So it's one of those things too we take for granted. It's just a natural, we do it every day, all the time. We're respirating. So it's nice to take a moment every day and just appreciate that breath. And, you know, not to mention breathing centers and grounds us. So you can think of air giving us that, those attributes. Also with air, you would think of other attributes like, you've heard the phrase, winds of change. Air is good for new beginnings, that it brings about change or something new coming along. Creativity as well. So you're always thinking of winds is wind and air as a constant moving energy or element, and so they're always pushing something new coming, and also keeping you at something as well, or at some kind of task or idea. When you think of air, you think of people, or airy people, you think that they're not grounded, that they're up, thoughts are in the clouds, heads are in the clouds, that kind of thing. And even though it sounds like a terrible thing, truthfully it's not. Like, some people do need to be uplifted and moving. That is just life. And some points in your life, you're always going to need some kind of air. You'll need earth, you'll need fire, you'll need water. So respect all of them equally and appreciate when you do have them in your life and when you actually need them. Another thing about air is, besides the fact that we need it to live, one of the coolest creatures on this planet lives in the air, and these are birds. Like, pay attention to the birds. They are constantly in motion. They're up in an area that we aren't naturally. We have planes, obviously, and kites and everything else that goes up there. But before we, you know, intervened and created all these things, birds were the only animals in the sky. And you would think of them, like when you think of them in your dreams and stuff, that they're free, they flow, they go wherever they want to. Their view on life and the earth and the planet as well. So those are things to think about when you're appreciating the element of air and how birds are structured. Along with that, like some of the things that you can do for yourself when you want to observe air, besides putting a bird feeder out and watching birds, hang a wind chime. When you hang a wind chime, it gives you that auditory, you know the wind is there. So you can tell the strength of the air at that moment. Like if it's just small little tinkles, you know it's a gentle breeze, and everything is just gently moving at that moment. Or if it's like really rattling, you know it's a really windy day or a storm is coming. So you're mindful of that power behind it. Air is also one of those, it can be a destructive force as well. Think of tornadoes and hurricanes. I know those are mixed with the element of water as well, but it is a force that is very destructive. But in that destruction, there can also be, once again, change, like new beginnings. You, if something happens, maybe you're supposed to rebuild, maybe you're supposed to start over. And this isn't necessarily just literally, it's metaphorically as well. So when you come into your yard or wherever and things are just blown over, sit a moment and think, you know, is there a reason for this? Do I need to change the design of my patio? Do I need to put plants somewhere else, or do they need new homes, like stronger roots, something like what came about to make the air shift everything for you. Also, that creativity that goes with it. So if things have shifted with the wind, maybe you need to come up with more creative ways to anchor whatever it is that's out there, or pay attention to the wind. Maybe it's not being appreciated. Maybe you need to put wind chimes out, or wind socks, or weather vanes. These are all lovely ideas to pay tribute to it. And also be aware of the air in you. There's not a lot of daily life that we use with the air, except breathing. That's a huge one. But we're not like using our air to cook or anything like that. So be mindful of the other things, like when we're blowing on flames, like on campfires, when that spark, when we're trying to make it bigger, so we're helping another element grow, or when you're blowing out a birthday candle, those types of things. So be mindful that that's your creation of air and how you're using air. If you want to decorate your altar for air, think of things that are associated with it, like birds. You can use birds, feathers. You can use like wind streamers, wind chimes on your altar. I don't know if it's going to be outside or inside, but something to think about. Colors that you can associate with air, you know, blues. Think of the sky, think of everything. So blues, pinks during sunset, yellow for creativity. The colors are whatever energy you can think of that go behind it, or whatever it's making you feel. So you're not limited to certain colors with air, and with all the elements actually, but it gives you a moment, once again, to be creative on how you're going to decorate your altar with it. So you would think of things that catch the wind so you can visually see it, or that play sounds so that you can hear it, so that you know it's there. Or another creative, and this idea came from a friend of mine, is playing with smoke on the air. So when you think of incense burning and you see the smoke plumes come up, or even from candles, like wicks that are burning, you see that smoke plume. This is showing you, sorry, the chicken's another bird, but when you see plumes of smoke come up from candles, and you can kind of see the energy in the room of the element of air. So air is one of those, it's very powerful, all the elements are, or it can be subtle. Take your time and observe it a little bit. Sit outside on a nice breezy day, watch the tops of the trees as they kind of flow with the wind on the breeze, or even in your garden, like lower. So pay attention to the strength and where that air movement is. Like sometimes you'll see in your garden or around you like little plants and bushes low on the ground swaying in the wind, but the tops of the trees aren't moving yet. Or sometimes there's nothing happening on the ground, but the tops of the trees are moving. So you'll see how that element flows, and it's pretty amazing and awe-inspiring when you sit there and observe it. And you know, you're out in nature as well, so you're getting all kinds of good stuff happening. How is air represented in your life? Is it daily? Do you see things? Do you hang out wind chimes yourself? Do you have an altar to air? Comment down below and let us know. Thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to comment, share, like, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time in another pan video.